a new band of rebels arose who were determined to carry the fight to Jerusalem. The SICARRI. To the SICARRI, anyone who wasn't fighting the Romans was a collaborator and worthy of death.
Many were slain every day, and the fear many were in was worse than the calamity itself.
All right, first and foremost, to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. The name is only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world enemy calls Christ. We'll move on to the topic of, is sex marriage? You have a lot of guys going around saying that you got to go get a piece of paper for you to be married. That's not in the Bible, okay? Does that mean that people in the Bible did not at times have pieces of paper that was covenants to say they're married? Of course, that happened. Let's not get that twisted. But it's not a commandment in the law. That's not in the law. It doesn't say you have to do that anywhere in the law. And a lot of people will run to this and go get this because of the black woman being so American. Meaning, because their woman feels like their marriage is not legitimized without the white man giving them a certificate, they have played into the same way they teach against polygamy. The same way. It's no different. It's because they are afraid of the black woman that's walking around with their testicles in her coach bag. This is what's going on. This is what they're afraid of. Okay, we here at the SICARRI are not afraid of that, and no woman is walking around with our testicles anywhere. All right, we let them hang here. Right.
You know what I was thinking earlier when Bayan asked me a question about that woman at the well, how she had all them husbands. She wasn't going around Israel getting married, literally. She was going around Israel fucking.
Yeah, just having sex.
Proving that the sex is the marriage.
That's right. That's right.
She was my husband.
Yeah. His brother, he's telling the truth, though. And we're going to prove it now in Genesis. Go ahead. 24 and 67, huh?
This is Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
Read.
And took Rebekah, and she bare Salah, and she became his wife.
He took her into his mom's tent, and she became his wife, meaning they had sex in his mother's tent. That's where it happened at. Was there a ceremony in his mom's tent? There was a flower girl at his mom's tent. There was a Catholic priest in his mom's tent that ordained him married. No, there was a bed in his mother's tent though, and I know what he did on that bed in his mother's tent, and that's what made them married. Teaching that sex is not marriage is propagation of whoredom in the nation of Israel, because once we come into the understanding that sex is marriage, we understand that we can't just go around having sex. We can't just go and have sex with just any girl, any sister, without a lifetime commitment and responsibility. This makes us better men. This makes women better women when they understand this. Anything outside of that gives you license to go do what you want to do and just hit on things and be a hoe and all that and not take care of your responsibilities as a man. Sex is marriage takes away all of that, right? Bayan Rakab.
All right, so I had a question about the whole token of virginity thing where it said you have to give a token of virginity. So I was wondering, back in those days when you had sex, say you just took a female down on the tent, were you supposed to take the token of virginity and go find a priest or something and bring up to her?
And it has nothing to do with the priest. Her parents.
Go take that token.
Yeah, her parents want the sheets that you pop her cherry on.
Right.
So they can prove she was a virgin, so you can't say you gave me a whore.
Right.
Okay. Also, is there a dowry involved in marriage? Because here's what some sisters now bring up. Well, there was a dowry in marriage, right? Do we give women dowries in ancient times? Not a dowry is money. You paid her father. Do we do that?
Yes.
Who do we do that for?
Virgins.
You meet a girl in America, you're her who knows what number, what body on the hit list, and she needs a dowry? No.
Not to mention them girl, that woman I'm talking to in Israel, just a damn hoe. And then that girl I met today, 22 years old, raised up in the truth. I said, so you're a virgin, right? Raised up, born into the truth. I said, so you're a virgin, right? She's like, no, I wish.
You see that? So she's not, and you would pay her father. Why would you pay her father? Who knows?
Oh.
Yeah, because she's in his house. You meet a girl that got her own apartment somewhere and she done had sex with 5, 6 niggas before you. What dowry is due? Who's owed money here? She's been done in. She's not a virgin. She's not under your authority, even though customarily in Israel she would be. So why do she need a dowry? People are crazy. You see what I'm saying? They're not really understanding what was going on in the ancient days. You would pay a father money when the girl was a virgin and she was coming out of his house. And he's now taking a loss now from his house. Because what was his daughter doing in his house? Chores. He now is down a hand in the house. So you are giving him this money so he can go, you know, he may have to hire an extra hand. You see what I'm saying? Now you have an extra hand in your home to do what you need to do. And of course, she's an untouched and chaste virgin. So he is due a financial exchange for that. But with anybody else, with a girl that's used, not her daddy, all the various things, what does she do? She's not doing it. There's no dowry for that. You see what I'm saying? Don't be crazy, right? So some dudes are going to, what is that? Deuteronomy 14? I think somewhere Deuteronomy 14 about writing a bill of divorce, right? That's the only thing that's in the law commanded with marriage, a bill of divorce. There is never commanded in the law a bill of marriage, only a bill of divorce. You see that? We're going to prove it.
Or no wedding ring.
Or, yeah, of course, not a wedding ring, right? Let's go to Exodus 22 and 16 and further prove that. Zanat. You write a letter and you say this woman has been divorced from you. 22 and 6. That way she can go and say, I'm not being a hoe. He put me away. So I'm good now. Somebody else can take me now. But of course she's not worth a dowry. You see what I'm saying? Because somebody already done went up in there. Right? And then in ancient Israel, didn't nobody want a girl that wasn't no virgin. Are you kidding? You see, Onan didn't even want to impregnate his, even though he was supposed to. But you didn't want no girl that wasn't no virgin in Israel. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead. Because there was plenty of them. Not like now. You can't even find no damn virgin. Right? So read.
This is Exodus 22 and 16.
Uh-huh.
And if a man entice a maid.
If a man entice a maid, not with marriage license, he enticed her. He spit game to her until she opened her legs. Read.
That is not betrothed.
She doesn't belong to nobody. Read.
And lie with her.
And they have sex. He talks to what we call jabs her drawers off. Right? They have sex. There's no marriage license. What happens?
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
He should pay a dowry to her father for that. Don't say nothing about no license.
It's SICARRI 25 and 5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not. The wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her.
Shall what?
Go in unto her.
That's what makes him now her wife. Makes her now his wife. He goes in unto her. Didn't say where is there a contract? There's a piece of paper. He shall go in unto her. Read on.
It says,
does he got to endow her? No. Why?
Because
she's not a virgin. You see that? Go ahead.
And take her to him to wife. And perform the duty.
Now, you have to go in unto her for her to be a wife. There you go. Sex and marriage. Sex is marriage. Read.
And perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her.
That's right. And you have a duty. What does the term duty go back to in the etymology? Who knows? Debt. If you have a duty, you have a debt. Your debt, you have a debt to your brother and a debt to his wife if she dies. If you take a wife, period, you have a debt to your wife. To have sex with her, have kids with her, provide for her, things like that. Any woman you have sex with, you have that debt to. Any Israelite woman you have sex with, you have that debt to. You can't just throw away. You can't just have sex with her, run her, you know what I'm saying, do all that. You have sex with her, that's your woman. Now, here's my question. Nobody at the table. Y'all gonna know this answer. Here's my question. Is there any time sex is not marriage? No?
Yes.
What's that time?
That's if you mess with a female that's not of the nation.
That's not necessarily true.
Well,
Who what hell? Now, where we at? Any other guesses? There's one time that's still marriage. Concubine is still a wife. It's just a lesser wife. What is the time where sex is not marriage? Yeah, that's true. Or same sex. So you know there is another time. Any unlawful sex, of course, is not. There's a time where sex is not marriage. Give me Genesis 38, and I'm gonna show y'all the time where sex is not marriage. Now, in all of saying this, does that mean you can't have a covenant or agreement or a marriage license? Of course not. That those happen, we use those, but that's just not a requirement by law. But that can happen. For example, let's say you're a father, you have a daughter, you're arranging her marriage with another brother. You say, okay, you're gonna give me such and such and such, and this and this and that is gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? That those are covenants that can be made, but they just don't have to be made, which is why Exodus 22 and 16 exists. Exodus 22 and 16 exists because if you go behind the father's back and get her to have sex with you, she's yours, and you pay the minimum dowry fee, which is, of course, would be 50 shekels. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have to negotiate any terms with him. You got her to get with you. You see what I'm saying? But let's go to Genesis 38 and read 15 and 18, because this is the time when sex is not marriage. Sex is not marriage in the case of a harlot, okay?
That's a hoe.
A hoe. In the case when Judah had sex with the hoe, there's a reason, and we're going to explain how this works, all right? Not telling people to go have sex with hoes, but in the case of somebody having sex with a hoe, that's not your wife, that's a hoe. Why? Who knows why, just off top? Why?
Everybody.
Well, you're paying for it. Meaning the covenant that you're entering into this woman with is that you're going to have it, you're going to give her goods, and she's going to give you sex, and that's going to be the end of it. That's what the covenant is. This is not marriage. This is a sexual favor. Of course, a daughter of Israel should never be a hoe.
So if it's a mutual agreement with another woman that's not of our nation, a mutual agreement that you give money and stuff, then that's
if a woman is a hoe and somebody has sex with a hoe, that's not your wife. That's what it is. Sorry.
So basically, sugar daddies is not really getting married to nobody. They just
he's dealing with hoes. Yeah, that's a hoe. That's somebody you're with in exchange for money. You see what I'm saying? That's not marriage. That's harlotry. You see what I'm saying? That's whoredom. That's not marriage. Hold on now. Are you from the tribe of Judah?
Yeah.
Are you from the tribe of Judah?
You're gonna learn something.
You know you wouldn't exist if your daddy wasn't a trick. You know that, right?
Trick.
Listen, hold on. Wait. You would not exist if your daddy wasn't a trick. If your daddy wasn't paying for box op, you wouldn't be on the planet Earth today. And it's cold when you put it like that. Like, wait a minute. You know, and again, nobody's telling nobody to go and buy no prostitutes or nothing like that. But this is something that they did in ancient time. And we're gonna read about it right here in Genesis 38.
No hesitation.
With no listen, when you read this, when you about to read this, you about to look at Judah like. You see, let's read that 38 and 15 to 18. 15 to 18. Go ahead.
This is Genesis 38 and 15. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot.
Judah seen her. He said, "This is a hoe." Read. She had on a harlot's apparel. This is a hoe. How can she be from his people? How can she be from his people? He's Judah.
He's Judah.
There's not no Judites. Judites don't exist. How is he from his people? He's Judah. So not he's from the tribe. He's actually your daddy, Yahweh, right? My little brother, read. Go ahead, my little brother, Trick. Go ahead.
Because she had covered her face.
She covered it. She had a veil on, but you know, hoes wear just like now. Hoe wears certain clothes that give it away. Oh, that's a hoe. You see what I'm saying, right? Right, the certain type of, you know, all that, right? Read.
And he turned her, and he turned unto her by the way, and said, "Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee."
Hey, he walked right up to her and said, Hey, let me hit that. He said, go to hither thee and let me come in unto thee. It's in Old English, but what he just said was, let me get some pussy. That's what he said. That's what your daddy said now. Okay, I'm putting this all on Judah, right? Now, we read about Levi. Levi was going around killing people. Judah was paying for it. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law.
He didn't know who this was. This is his daughter-in-law. She's tricking him in the game the whole time. But she had to have known this, that he was a trick in order to be able to play this game. She had to say, my father-in-law, this nigga's a trick. You see what I'm saying? Because how else would she know? If I go out here dressed like a hoe, he gonna pay. I'm gonna get his ass. How would she know if he wasn't known for doing something like this? Okay, we got to get into the origins of, you know what I mean, our people and see these stories. This is crazy, but this is black people. You see what I'm saying? This is our people. You know, everybody had an uncle or some of our fathers. You see what I'm saying? Be out tricking off. You see what I'm saying? Mama mad as hell at home, man. This nigga out spending drunk, spending money on some little young hoe. This is how we came into it. It's not no different than what we see now, man. Our people have been the same for thousands of years. We gonna always be the damn same. You see what I'm saying? Only thing we're going to do is in the kingdom be right and stop being so wicked. Stop running around buying hoes. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to be doing that in the kingdom. We're going to have our wives, right? Go ahead.
And she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me?
So she said, well, she's bargaining the price with him. She's haggling with him. Read.
And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock.
He going to give her a kid or a goat. Read.
And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send
So
me?
she's running game. This is a Hamitic woman now, mind you. So she's running game. She's saying, look, give me a pledge. Because they working it out, but she's what is a pledge?
A promise.
A promise, or it's collateral. She wants collateral. She wants to be able to hold some collateral until the kid is sent to her, right? Because he didn't have to go. What if he said, I'm gonna send you a kid, right? So read.
And he said, what pledge shall I give you?
What you want, read.
And she
He's
said,
so open. What you want, baby? I'll give you everything. Judah, trick. Go ahead.
And she said, thy signet.
Thy signet. He had his ring with his symbol on it. Okay, read.
And thy bracelet.
And his bracelet. He was iced out, Judah. Read.
And thy staff that is in thine hand.
Staff. Read.
And he gave it to her.
He gave it all to the hoe. Here, baby. How it took the chain. Here, baby. You just have it all. Right? Sound like a few niggas I know. Read.
And came in unto her.
And had sex with this girl. So here's the exchange now. This is not marriage. This is, I'm going to give you this goat, and you're going to give me that box. Right? Read.
And she conceived by him.
And he impregnated her. Right? Now she tricked him for a purpose. This was all for the purpose of Judah's children being born. Of course, his sons died. He hadn't raised up a seed. So through this woman was the seed raised up according to the law. But she was able to get over on him knowing he was a trick. But here's the thing with this is the reason why it ultimately wasn't harlotry was why. Now, again, it was harlotry. His intentions was harlotry. Harlotry is not marriage. But what happened? No, because she never got paid. She took the pledge and disappeared, and he never was able to send the kid to her, and he was never able to give his stuff back. But when he tries to go and confront her about it, about the fact that he hears she's pregnant, not realizing he the one that knocked her up, she said, look, nigga, I'm pregnant by you. So he never paid her, so it wasn't technically that. But it would have been. That was his intentions to it be. But she had, you know, a little trick up her sleeve.
Since he didn't pay her, she became his wife?
Yes, she was. But according to law, she was supposed to be somebody's wife. But what had happened was, as Judah's son had got old, he didn't give his son to her. So she said, she knowing that she has to be used to raise the seed up, tricked him into it. You see what I'm saying? But in the case of prostitution, that's sex that is not marriage. You see what I'm saying? That's not marriage if it's prostitution. But any other time sex is happening, it is marriage, especially to our sisters. That's indefinite marriage.